Hello, everyone. Welcome in. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, so I am excited to do this live stream today. Our agenda for today is well, we have three things on our agenda for today. The first thing I want to share with you about 7 things that you can do to prepare in the event that you were to have any kind of income interruptions. The second thing that is on the agenda is I want to share a little thing about what's going on with YouTube. That should take a couple minutes. And then the last thing I want to do is share what's going on in my Skool community, what it looks like, and invite you to join. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Welcome again for those who are watching from Facebook or LinkedIn. It's better over on YouTube, so join us over there if you can. But wherever you're watching from, welcome. All right, so as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about, share about 7 things that you can do right now for those who have income, what you can do to prepare. And it's not for those who are, this is not for those without income, and it's not for those who have irregular income. This episode is for those with income. So I want to start by saying a survey by NerdWallet showed that 83% of Americans say they overspend at least sometimes. And among those people who have a monthly budget and they try to stay on budget, 84% say they've gone over it. So having a paycheck doesn't necessarily guarantee smooth sailing. If you're employed, you still can overspend or not save. So preparing matters. And that's the key thing we're highlighting today in today's session. So before I jump, I see a comment in here. A LinkedIn user said, hey, I'm not sure who that LinkedIn user is, but hi, LinkedIn user. Okay, so we want to jump into it with our first item that we want to talk about today. That kind of threw me off a little bit. And the first thing I want you to look at is knowing your numbers. Start with awareness. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what's happening, how do you fix it? So I want you to encourage you to start with awareness. Look at what's coming in, what's going out. And because too many people don't know their real monthly expenses until a crisis hits, and then you're scrambling to figure it out. So for those of you who have income right now, I encourage you to track your spending. And even if you don't want to do the penny, tracking to the penny, do some kind of rough estimation of where you are, what's coming in and what's going out. Because studies have shown over and over again that there are people who at the end of the month, they say, I spent all my money, but I can't tell you where I spent it. And I don't want that for you. So I'm encouraging you right now to know your numbers. Try to see what's coming in and what's going out. If you don't know your baseline, then you're building the rest of your preparedness plan in the dark. Think about it, right? If you don't know what you're fixing, if you go to the doctor and you say, I'm sick, but you can't articulate what's going on, how does the doctor help you? And it's the same with your finances. If you are not clear on what you have and what you have to work with, how do you fix it? You can't. So again, I want to emphasize getting your numbers, knowing your numbers, because I don't want you flying blind when it comes to spending. We want to shine a flashlight on your numbers. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is building or rebuilding your emergency fund. And you've heard this all the time. So here comes Severin saying it again, because it's that important. The classic advice is 3 to 6 months. These days, with everything that's going on, I say 6 months to a year. Now, I don't want you to get intimidated and thinking, oh, how do I save that? Because I don't have money to start. I want you to think small. Start with $20. I can relate to that because that's what I did. When I started saving years ago, I started setting aside $20 to an online bank account. And I increased that. And I opened another bank account and put some more in there. For my 401k, I made sure I got the company match. And then I increased it as my income increased, as I got raises, I increased that percentage. So I want you to think about where you are. And again, going back to that first point, right? If you don't know where you are, how do you know what you want to set aside? You have to know your numbers. So you want to think about how you can set aside 20, 25, and you want to maybe automate that. Because if you're like me, you're forgetful. And so you want to automate your process so that you don't have to think about it when you are setting money aside, because we're going for progress. We're not going for perfection. Perfection is not a word we use in personal finance. Okay? It is not a word we use in personal finance. We are going for progress. Say that with me, progress. Okay? So when you're setting aside and you're automating that small amount from your paycheck each time I promise you won't miss it. You might think you will. I promise you won't, because what you'll do is you'll adjust. You'll find yourself adjusting with what you have to work with, because that money's gone into your savings, into your 401k, into whatever fund you've set up for future proofing yourself, right? So you want to set up those automatic transfers so that, again, you are future proofing your income, future proofing your finances. And another thing you might want to consider doing is automating bill payments. Now, this is one I hate. I do not like automating bill payments because I don't want anybody going into my account to take my money. I will tell you what to take. But for some people, it might be, if you're not as anal as I am with tracking and all that stuff, then you may want to automate your bill payments, because that way you're guaranteeing that nothing major is going to slip through, because it's going to cost you money if that happens. If it slips through, then you may have to pay fees. And you don't want to do that. You do not want to give away your money you work so hard for, okay? So you want to think about how you can automate your savings, how you can automate your bill payments, all the things that will help you to take control of your finances. Because here's the thing, time and compounding will do the work for you. So even if it's $20, then you can look at calculators to show you if you set aside $20. I had a calculator I was going to put together to show you, but I forgot. So charge it to my head and not my heart, they say. I forgot to bring the calculator so you could see how $20, just a small amount, how that compounds over time when you leave it alone. Okay, because again, you're preparing for interruptions. You're building a buffer, which is key. And you don't need to start with $10,000. You just want to start with that $20, automate that for each paycheck. Because again, that myth that I need a giant lump sum, we're going to do away with that after today, right? Consistent small amounts win the race. All right, number 3, review your job-related benefits. A lot of times when we're laid off or we get an income interruption, our benefits may suffice to cover our income shortfall. It may suffice to protect us until we get back on our feet. So we want to look at what benefits does my company provide. And a lot of time when we get our job, what do we look at? Income, health insurance, and that's it. Look at all the benefits, because a lot of companies, their EAP programs, other programs provide things that you could take advantage of, and it may protect your income. So look at short-term, long-term disability insurance. I don't advocate for you to take it with a company, but many times the companies, they provide it for free. So you can get the short-term disability or long-term disability through them for free up to a point, and then you pay more. If you're going to pay more, I would suggest that you get it with a company external to your job. And ask me how I know. You want to do that because when you leave, you can take that with you and it's not going to cost you a lot of money. I paid a lot of money for long-term life insurance in my company for many years. And then when I left, it was cost prohibitive to move it. So I ended up just getting my own life insurance, and that money could have been used somewhere else, but I didn't know. So I'm telling you now, so you can't say you didn't know. So what you want to look at again is all of the benefits that your company provides and how you can maximize those benefits to protect your income. Because again, When there is an interruption, you want to make sure you have the things in place so you're not scrambling and making decisions based on emotions, because that's what we do, right? If we are not prepared and if we haven't thought about all the things that we need to do, when a job loss happens or something catastrophic or health or something like that, what we do, we react. And because we need to make sure the children's health is taken care of. So we're making decisions based on emotion. But if you do this and prepare ahead of time, then you're less likely to react based on emotion. All right. And I don't see any questions in the chat. Come on, ask me questions. Number 4, trim your commitments now before you have to. Okay. So what that means is, if my income were to drop 20%, if I were to lose this job and got another job and it would pay me 10,000 less or 50,000 less or whatever, what would my budget look like? So what that does is helping you to prepare ahead in the event something happened. And this is not about bringing disaster on yourself. This is about being prepared, all the ways you can be prepared, right? So you want to set a budget for an interruption of income. Interruption is what I'm going to term it, right? So let's say, what is the least income job that you take for the least income? So let's say 50,000, right? You're making 80,000 right now, and you will take, the job you take is 50,000. How can I live on 50,000? Set a budget for that. And again, this is about being prepared, right? So set your budget for a pre-interruption, set a pre-interruption budget. Cancel subscription. Don't be like me and say, oh, I'm going to use that subscription. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. And before you know it, a year passes and you never use that thing and you're paying a monthly subscription. Don't be like Severin. Okay. So look at all of your subscriptions, your unused subscriptions. What are the things that I can get rid of? What can I sign back up for them at a later time? Don't hold on to it thinking I'll use it when you have the option to sign up at a later date. And a lot of times, if you have those things on automatic payment, you don't miss it. Because you probably don't balance your checkbook. I'm anal, so I balance my checkbook to the penny every month. Okay. So be like me and know where your money is going, because I'm not trying to give anybody my money that don't need it. Okay. I need it more than they do. So call your service provider and see how you can get better rates. My loyalty is to my pocketbook. You've probably heard me say that many times. My loyalty is to my pocketbook, not to a company. Okay. I don't care how many years I've been with you. If I can find a better deal, bye-bye. Okay. So call service providers. Shop insurance rates. Don't be so loyal. I don't care if it's your best friend that has the insurance and you got it through your best friend. Listen, you are about saving your money and maximizing your coins. Okay. So do what you need to do to make sure you're doing that. So it's easier to tighten up when it's optional for us to do so. And I want to make sure that you're not waiting until it's urgent or you have no choice but to tighten up. And so that's why I want you to do these things. So the number 5 is diversify your income stream. Having one paycheck equal 1 point of failure. If all you have is your paycheck, that's 1 point of failure. And so you want to make sure you have something else. It doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to be something where you are making $10,000 or $50,000 or whatever. It can be something as small as $100 every week that you can take $50 of it and put it aside for your emergency fund, or $50 of it to pay down debt. It can be as small as that. So be creative. Think outside the box. It could be freelance work. It could be coaching. Are you good with math? Where you could say, I'm going to put up my note in my community and go down to the high school or wherever, the community board, and put up a sign, and you can tutor 2 kids per week or 1 child per week and make a few bucks. So, again, being creative. Or maybe you don't have the time to be outside of your home. What can you do inside the home? Are you good at baking? Can you tell your family members, okay, if you're having a party, I'll bake the cake and let them pay you for that cake. Okay. So, whatever you can do to think outside the box of what can I do to make a little extra money to pad that emergency fund, to pad my income, so that if something were to happen, then I have some cushion, I have some breathing room. This is really income protection. And what it does, it really, speaking from experience, it creates a feeling of empowerment rather than overwhelm. Because if something happens, I can step back, I can breathe. Not that I'm a millionaire yet, but I can step back and I can breathe because I have this padding that gives me some leeway, and I can make decisions. I don't have to take the first job that comes. I don't have to do the first whatever, because I've created that cushion between me and disaster. Okay. So number 6, keep your skills, not your spills, your skills and networks fresh. We often overlook this one. You want to build your bridge before you need it. Okay. Update your resume. I'm not going back to corporate America, but if you are, update your resume. Take a class that freshens your skill. One of the things I'm doing is I am working as an academic coach, and that is helping my accounting skills stay fresh. So, whatever it is that you can do to keep your skills fresh, do that. Stay active on LinkedIn. And of course, there are ways to do that strategically. Stay active and build those relationships now before you need it, so that when you want those new opportunities, when you need those new opportunities, you've created relationships, you've created that bridge. You can go into somebody's inbox and you can say, hey, I lost my job, and I know we've been communicating for a while. We've had a relationship, a connection on LinkedIn, and I see you posting blah 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 blah. And if there is any way you can reach out to your network, do you know anything? You have that connection already. You can do that. Don't be like them other folks who come into my inbox. Oh, can we have a meeting? I don't even know you. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. You don't know me because you haven't even looked at my podcast. You haven't looked at my content. You don't know me. So why do you want to have people come in? Oh, let's do a collaboration, and you don't even know what I do. Come on. But anyway, I digress. So you want to build those relationships, and you want to make sure that you have those connections, so that you're not asking for things just when you're in an emergency. You've already made those connections. You've already built those bridges. So it makes it easier to reach out to people. And then number 7, which is the last one, you want to check your financial backup systems. This is not so much saving money as saving the headache. Okay. You want to do a quick financial fire drill. You want to make sure your important documents, and I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel on this. Make sure your important documents, pay stubs, tax returns, and then also go to the IRS website and see the retention policy for some of these things, because you don't need to be like some people I know who have stacks and stacks of things that they don't need anymore. So you want to see what the retention policy is, then keep those things, and then to keep, turn it over. So let's say your last one was, you keep it for a year, and the last one you had was January of 2025, and we're in December. Then maybe you get rid of January. So now you're going to replace that with January 2026. So you always have 12 months. So whatever the retention policy is. So you want to make sure that you are taking care of those, making sure they're organized. You back them up digitally in more than one place. Because you'd be surprised. Well, probably you're not surprised how many people are scrambling when someone passes away, when there's a health crisis, and nobody knows where anything is. Nobody knows where the passwords are, and bills need to be paid, children need to be fed, and nobody knows because we haven't done the work to do the hard work up front. Is this going to be easy? No. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I want you to think about all the things, make a note of the things, and work through it. And then you can always hire somebody like Severin to help you with this, to help you get organized and to get you structured in the things that you need to do. So you want to confirm your beneficiaries on retirement documents, life insurance. When I got divorced, that's the first thing I did. Okay. I made sure my beneficiary was changed, and my retirement accounts, my life insurance, all that was changed. Then you also want to set up account alerts for large transactions and to spot fraud alert. Sometimes some of those things can be annoying, If you're like me, if your personality is like me, it's annoying, but it's necessary. So you want to set up what you can to give you some kind of alert that, hey, this is going on. And because your bank might not alert you at the same, the bank might not, well, no, the bank is going to alert you, but you might not see it if you go into your bank. Let me say that again. Your bank may send you an alert, so you want to set that up. You might not go into your account on a timely basis to see it. So those alerts will help you. So again, these are all about saving money, protecting your income, giving yourself a sense of calm and being in control, because once the more prepared you are, the better it is that when a crisis happens, you are not reacting and you're not making decisions based on emotions. So preparing for financial interruptions isn't about living in fear. It's about creating confidence, because you can't control everything. But what you can do is control how prepared you are. All right. I don't see any questions. So y'all don't want to talk to me? I don't see any questions. All right. So the next part of what I want to share is I want to share a slide. Let me see if I can find it on LinkedIn and not LinkedIn, on YouTube. Because what I started doing recently is I started doing collaboration, and this will take a minute before I go into into showing you my Skool community. I started doing collaborations. And when I do that, whoever I have on my YouTube, on my podcast, I link it so that when you go look at the video, you can also subscribe to that person. And what I think has been happening is that people see that and then they click on my name, because both names come up, and they click on my name, and so they unsubscribe unwittingly from me. So I wanted to kind of show that real quick, to show you that what you need to see to know that you're still subscribed to me. Because in the last few days, I lost like 20 subscribers. I'm like, what's going on? And I think this is what it is. Let me show you the screen and I'll explain. So, for example, the last collaboration I did it with Marcella. And so when you watch the video with Marcella, you're going to see the top screen right here, right? You're going to see Dr. Sam Talks Money and Marcella Mullen Williams BSA. That's what you're going to see. And you'll see subscribe. When you click on that subscribe, if you haven't subscribed, it will say subscribe. This one at the bottom here, where it says no collaborator, you'll see subscribe. When you click on that, it's going to reveal the collaborators on this video. So you'll see Dr. Sam Talks Money and Marcella. Both of us are on here. And the person who selected this is not my account because I can't see it this way. The person who selected it, they're both subscribed. They're subscribed to both channels. If you are subscribed to one, let's say you're subscribed to mine and you're not subscribed to Marcella's, and you want to subscribe to her, you'll see subscribe there. At the bottom, you'll see just subscribe. If the video that you are watching on my channel does not have a collaborator, you'll only see subscribe, and you'll just click on it and you'll subscribe. And while you're at it, if you're watching on YouTube, can you click that subscribe button, please? Okay. All right. So the third part of this live stream, and thank you so much for those who are watching. I appreciate you so much for joining. The third part of this live stream is I am going to give you a peek into my Skool community that I just created a week and a half ago. So let me share my screen. Give me a second. I thought I had it up, but I guess not. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. Okay, so if I were to send you the link for the community, this is the page you would go to make a decision as to whether or not you want to join. And I hope you can see it. If you can't see it, let me know in the chat. And so the wealth is going to say Wealth Warriors Community, Personal Finance. This is what you'll see. And then in that tab, again, for those who are coming in to make a decision as to whether or not they want to join the community, this is the first tab they'll see. You can always click on that, and we will see the podcast. And again, this is building authority. This is saying, hey, Seth may know a little bit about what she's talking about. She got a podcast over there. And then I also have, some testimonials of things clients are saying about the work I've done with them. So this is what you'll see if you were to click the link on that I'm going to put in the chat in a little bit, so you can join the community. These are the tabs that are in the community, and these are the tabs that are in all communities. In the community, you will have, different sections is the word I'm trying to say. You'll have different sections. So in the community, this is a general posting. You can post in here. Under the community, you have these general tabs. So you can post. This is where you'll post general things. This is where you'll post your intro, because I have an intro post where you can come in here and introduce yourself. Tell us what business you have, because you never know when you introduce yourself, somebody may want the service that you offer. So, introduce yourself. No spamming is allowed, and I don't have any qualms about removing posts. So there are guidelines for the community that's here. Core values that guide everything that we do here in this community. Authenticity, or a couple of them, empathy, integrity, blah, 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 blah. There are several of those that guide the community. So, and then you'll go here, mindset and reflections. This is where we'll talk, maybe do some deeper dive on things that we want to discuss. Then there is tips and tricks that will, if there are any tips, I haven't placed any in here yet. I have a video section where I'll probably put videos in that I think would benefit the community. I'm not going to put all my YouTube videos in there. And then there's the Q&A section. This is where you can ask questions. So that's all under community, all these little tabs. Then you go to classroom, and this is where you'll have lessons. I haven't put the lessons in yet. So here you'll have lessons on credit and on savings and budgeting and debt and things like that. And then this is the paid section where you'll have the coaching, where we'll have guided coaching. I'll have some lessons in there, but I will also have guided coaching, group coaching, and to a lesser extent, one-on-one coaching. And then a calendar where, if you're in the group, you can see what events are going on. Like, for example, today's event is here. I'm not going to click on members because this is a private group, and only members in the group will be able to see who is in the group. So I'm not going to click on that for the public. For the map, it tells you where your members are. Where your members are located. And right now, all my members are within the United States. And then it has the leaderboards, which I'm not going to click down to the bottom because it tells me who is leading on a 7-day, 30-day, and all-time leader in the community. So it will show that under leaderboard. So we're back to about, and I'm going to click, and I am going to copy this, and I am going to put it in the chat. For those who may want to, there's some comments here. For those who may want to join the community and check us out. The link for joining is in the community, and it doesn't look like it's showing up for LinkedIn. It's only showing up for Facebook and YouTube. So I may have to manually add it over there in YouTube. In LinkedIn. I think that's it that I want to show you for for the community. And then, of course, when you get when there are comments or notifications, you can manage your notifications. You can turn them off and just wait until you come into the community in order to see what's there. You can, oops, didn't mean to do that. You can, turn off your community, turn that off. And if you want to send a private message to a member, you can send it here in the chat. Now, anyone who sends unsolicited chats will be removed from the group, because only if someone says, hey, I'd love to hear what you're talking about. Can you tell me more? And you can share it in the community so everybody else can know, or you can send them a chat. But if I'm told by a member that somebody is unsolicited, is soliciting them or anything like that, and spam, or you will be removed, okay? Because this group runs on authenticity and it runs on integrity. So I am going to stop sharing. And I think I see some comments in the chat. Let's go to them. Comments. Okay. Hey, Beverly, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Swagerific 905. I'm not sure who that is, but thank you for joining. I don't think I've seen that name before. This person said I need to improve on that. And so true. I'm not sure. I'm sure all of what I said is what you're thinking is true, right? So thanks everyone for joining. If I don't see any questions, I'll just give you a few more seconds if you want to put any questions in there in the chat on anything I talked about in relationship to finances, to the YouTube, and then also to the community. If you have any questions, and then of course you can always everybody says always. You can always reach out to me on any of the platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. More likely LinkedIn and Facebook, because they do have a section you can reach out to me for comments, or for why can't I talk today? Reach out to me to ask questions or anything. So you can reach out to me there. If nobody has any questions, thank you for entertaining me today and joining. Okay. Yeah, I was referencing being prepared for emergencies. Okay, yes, thank you. So if no questions, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you. Beverly says, Dr. Severs taught me a lot about finances. Yeah, Beverly has been my first client when I had my tax business. She was my first client, and she brought other people to me. She was my first client when I did my coaching business, and she's always been my ride or die. So thank you, Beverly. I appreciate you more than you know. And every time I have giveaways on my YouTube channel, she ends up winning, which is very appropriate. Okay, so I hope to see you all in my community. Again, it's only for women. And if you're serious about your finances, I'd love to see you in the community, and you can just kind of observe the excellence happen in the chat. Not so much the lessons, but in the chat, in the discussions. Somebody saying, hey, I have this issue with my credit. And then you're getting all the feedback and the insights and all of that. That's where the excellence happened. That's where the meat of the connection happened. So I'm hoping that I'll see you in the community, the community, and everybody is welcome, as long as you are a female. You are welcome, and I hope I'm saying this right. I hope I'm saying this the correct correct way, because I don't know about the he, she, and all of that. I'm not familiar with all of that, but it's only for women. I'll just say that it's only for women. And so if you identify as a woman, you are invited. And again, no spams, no trying to sneak and do things in the community. We lead with integrity. We lead with empathy, no judging, because the minute you judge, it's a one strike, you're out. Because people need to feel safe. They need to feel that they're in a safe space to talk about their money. Okay, and we have another comment here. Great live, Dr. Sam. So until next time, I can talk all day, okay? Because I love to talk about money. So I'm gonna let y'all go because I know you have stuff to do. You have Halloween and all that. So I'm gonna let you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today and listen to me rambling as I want to do. Take care, and I'll see you at the next one.